right, today is Saturday, June 22nd. We're going to do a quick shop talk here. This is going to be shop talk number 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 19. We hadn't done one in a while. Hadn't really had much to talk about.
Busy, trying to finish up stuff.
Yeah, we got to do it outside because it's cooler outside than it is in the shop right now, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
It is miserably hot. There's a nice breeze right now. So we're sitting on the porch. And we're going to talk about today's topic is financing. A dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about.
I think so.
Is financing your lowrider or your classic car. So somewhere along the lines, it became frowned upon to borrow money for a lowrider. Somewhere along the lines, it had become understood that the lowrider must be paid for in full with cash. And
I mean, that's fine and dandy if you got it like that.
if you got it like that, I think that with the current way things are right now in the current market, it's really hard to do that. We're talking about, we're talking about cars that are $25,000 and up, or maybe even $20,000 and up, or maybe even 15.
I mean, think about it.
Everybody's budget is different, but I would say, we're talking about $25,000 and up. So, not a lot of people go out and buy their commuter car or their truck in cash.
Oh no, they go to the dealership.
They go to the dealership and they finance it.
Yeah.
We're talking about financing, $30,000 to $50,000-$60,000 financed. So if the 64 Impala is now $40,000, should one only pay cash?
Oh, well, now for the average Joe, no.
Okay.
It's a little bit impossible, man.
It is. It's really hard to save up 40 grand, especially in today's, climate or, inflation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Not everything, the dollar doesn't stretch like it used to.
Sure.
So, I mean, people are having to pay a little bit more for groceries and gas, and just the overall cost of living is more expensive. So can you imagine having the perks of your classic car? That's going to go up as well.
So me personally, I don't see anything wrong with financing a car. I don't see anything wrong with that. And here's why. Because for one, I didn't tell you how to make your money, so I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah.
Okay? I didn't help you earn it, so I'm not going to tell you how to spend it. But it's kind of a case-by-case basis. Because if you were to finance a $40,000 vehicle, let's say a 63 a hardtop,
Yeah.
okay, 40 grand, the interest rate on that is probably going to be
7?
at least
At least 7.
7 and up.
Yeah, 7 and up actually. Yeah.
7 and up, okay, and that's going to be for good credit.
Yeah, you have good credit.
Okay, so no bank is going to loan you a personal loan for that amount unless you either have excellent credit or you have a business account. No bank's going to loan you a signature loan for $40,000.
No.
It ain't happening.
No.
So you have to do a car loan. Okay, so when you do a car loan
Interest
at 8%,
probably higher.
10, which is nuts. 10% for 5 years or whatever, and your note is, I don't know, off the top of my head, $600. Well, 600 for 5 years. 500 for 5 years is 30,000.
Okay.
So another 100 for 60 is yeah, more than 600. More than $600. Probably upwards of 7. Okay. Now, since you don't hold the title, you got to have insurance that covers all that.
Yeah.
So now your insurance is going to hit you up for probably, I don't know, at least $50 a month.
Yeah.
If you go with a classic type insurance. So now we're talking $750 a month to finance this car. And at that point, if you go the whole term, you didn't pay 40 for it, you paid more like 54.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's not worth it. You see what I mean? So now I'm in favor of using the bank to make money. So let's buy something that we can. I ain't got the cash, but I can get the cash, and I already got a buyer for it. So let's do that. Boom, boom. Everybody makes money. Give the money back to the bank. Everybody's paid. But that's getting really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to do. The internet has made that harder and harder to do.
So what do you expect the average person that can't do that? What, get a project? Maybe
That's where the project comes in.
Get about $200 to $300 a month put into it.
Yeah, at least.
And then you would have to budget into your regular bills, right? You got
Sure.
If you got a mortgage, you got the light bill,
Sure.
Water bill, whatever. All that extra stuff.
Daycare.
Yeah.
Groceries.
Groceries and all that.
Yeah.
Now you got to budget
Gas.
in some money for that project, or else the project is going to be sitting there a lot longer than you want, and before you know it, you're tired of it, and it's gone.
And it's gone. So what we're trying to say is that it's not only about turning wrenches. With the cost of these cars, it's also become a financial obligation.
Yes.
You have to budget for this shit.
Yeah.
You have to have the money to do it. Not only be able to turn the wrench, or sand the primer, or wire the car, but you got to have the money to buy the wiring kit to wire the car.
Yeah. I think when we built my 68, man, I mean, I think the majority of the money was spent on stuff for the car. It wasn't really the paint and body and all that, because we did that ourselves.
Yep.
Right.
But even the materials was still like 2 G's.
But even, I mean, compared to everything else, that was like the least expensive stuff.
Nice.
Right. Your wiring harness right off the bat was 7 something.
Sure.
Right. Digital dash was another 8. Interior, almost 2 G's.
Wheels and tires.
Wheels and tires, almost 4 G's.
Batteries.
Batteries is another G. The car itself, I mean, it's new suspension.
Yeah. Powder coat.
All the new hardware.
Disc brakes.
Like this was a full frame off, and I mean, I don't think I would have been able to just pull that off on a monthly basis. Like, I gotta buy this. This is $1,000.
Okay.
Or,
So you borrowed for it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, you
to
shouldn't
admit
be,
it.
because it ain't it. If that's
Now-
what you needed to do, then that's what needed to be done.
Now, when I first got the car, my plan was for it to take 1 year, really, and that's the reason for why I financed the car. Right, I have excellent credit. I'm proud of that. I have a good job, and the bank said, "Yeah, we'll lend you the money." Boom, lend me the money, bought the car, did the majority of it, and then towards the end, like, okay, we're almost done with it. Loan paid off, all that stuff is done. Now it starts going into my monthly budget for bills and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
I need, I don't know, weather strip.
Sure.
Okay. Make sure I have, 200 to 300.
The nickel and dime stuff at
Yeah.
the end of the finish
Yeah.
line.
But I did have to budget, and it was an actual monthly bill. Sometimes even more. I mean, there's some ways to get around it. You got like PayPal credit, which I recommend to use it if you're responsible with it.
Yeah, 0 interest.
They give you 0 interest for like 6 months, and you can buy your stuff as long as you pay it back within 6 months. They don't hit you with all the interest fees and all that stuff.
Sure.
Which is a real useful tool. Did that, paid that stuff back, got it done with, and like I said, just little things like that I needed. Whether I needed light bulbs,
Yeah.
LED lights, whatever
Just stuff.
that you're gonna need throughout the whole build. You budget into your monthly.
Okay, so that being said, everything's paid for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, anything else that I get is coming out of my pocket now.
Okay. So we're caught up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're caught up. So you use the financing as a tool to get you where you needed to be.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
in a short period of time.
Yeah, because if not, I mean, this would be a 5-6 year project maybe. You know, it would take a lot longer. And by then I would have been tired with it. I mean, as a matter of fact, 2 years into the project, I was fed up with it. Just imagine if you had to kind of go into a 5th year, 6th year, you're almost like, you're done with it. You're like, hey, highest bid takes it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I used it, because I knew that if I prolonged this project too much, I was going to get tired of it, and it was just going to hit the door.
Yeah. I mean, as far as my car, man, the 60, man, a lot of stuff came up for sale that I needed, that I know I needed, when I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I use PayPal credit. I don't give a damn what people think, and paid it off. So.
I mean, you still did pretty much the entire work yourself, other than buying the parts.
Yeah.
Everything
There's certain
done.
things that you can't negotiate. You can't negotiate stuff retail. You can't. I mean, a little bit, but not really. You can't negotiate glass. You can't negotiate weather strip. You can't negotiate paint supplies.
Chrome.
You can't negotiate a little bit chrome, a little bit, but not really. You can't negotiate a brand new set of Daytons.
No.
You can't negotiate what batteries cost at Freightliner. So there's things that you just, unless you have a tax ID, you pay retail.
Yeah.
Now there's things you can negotiate, like the do-it-yourself part, the paint and body part, the install of the hydraulics,
Yeah.
the wiring, the install of the moonroof, the covering of the seats. You do that yourself, you are negotiating.
Actually, yeah. I mean, if we didn't do all that stuff ourselves on the 68,
Yeah, it'd be over 50.
I would have spent so much money that it wouldn't even be funny. I mean, I think I'd be upset about it.
You'd be over 50.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, it just.
And if I had to pay everybody for what I put in the 60, I'd be over 200.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what the 60 costs, but
Yeah. And that ain't happening.
and that ain't. I mean, but it's not. That's not what you have invested in, right?
No, I don't know. So that being said, it kind of goes back to the whole built not bought thing, or built versus bought thing.
I mean, like I said, if you have the money, would I want to be out here in 90-degree weather, 100-degree
Man,
weather?
it was hot today, man.
Why would I?
Holy shit.
I think if I had the money, I'd pay somebody to do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But not necessarily. I mean, just because you have all the money in the world doesn't mean that you're gonna get stuff done.
That's true too, man. Unless you're paying out the wazoo, and you say, okay, I'll give you $10,000 if I get to jump in line for the next paint job.
Yeah.
Well, then you're a fool.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have the money, if there's money in the object to you, you got millions. Okay.
You can have money and still be a fool.
Okay, true. Yeah.
So you're still a fool.
I mean, sometimes even shops don't. If a shop doesn't respect you, you can have all the money in the world, and your car will still sit outside while somebody else's car is getting done.
It's a good point.
Like I said, doesn't necessarily mean that you get cut in front of the line and you get first priority just because you're popular or you have so much money or whatever. They can still put your car outside and let it sit. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, it goes back to your do-it-yourself movement.
Yeah, I think man, it's a dirty game, man. Lowriding is a dirty game, man, and it shouldn't be, because it's such a dying breed that it shouldn't even be dirty anymore. But it is.
Yeah, I mean,
you take your car and it sits outside at some body shop for months on end, while other cars come and go. It's a lack of respect at some point, or maybe the person ain't paying. I don't know, man. Yeah. But when I hear stories, and I hear a lot of that, man, a car been sitting out at the paint shop for 6 months outside. That's a lack of respect.
Yeah.
That's a lack of respect.
I think so.
At least put it inside. All right, man. We had to All right, we had a cut, but we're back. So what we was talking about is when the car sits at the body shop for months on end,
Yeah.
no matter how much money you're willing to pay.
Yeah. I think by that point the shop or whoever has lost respect for you.
And they know that they could do that to you.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, which like I said, it goes back to like, you know, what you're trying to start, you know, with your do-it-yourself movement.
Yeah.
Is don't rely on shops to hold your car hostage, or even your cash hostage. You know.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Yes.
The car is your cash.
Yeah, that's your money. You don't spend, you know, hard-earned money on that, and I'm pretty sure, you know, they've already taken a deposit on some of the work, and now you're just at the mercy.
Man, that's a terrible situation to be in, man.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that a couple times, not to much extreme, but just having to wait on people for anything, man.
Yeah.
Sucks. Like,
tell you one thing and then you're stuck with something else, and you're like, okay, it'll be done in a month. Next, you know, it's 2, 3.
just
Be done in 6 months. Next thing you know, you're going on a year, and you're like, you don't want to give up because you're like
you're so far in.
Yeah, too deep in. You just
In too deep. So that's why we're talking about do-it-yourself, man.
yeah.
That's where the do-it-yourself stuff comes in, to save people money. Because, I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you have,
Yeah.
or how much access to money you have, whether it be through loans or banks. Doesn't matter if you have unlimited money. That doesn't guarantee that the shop is gonna treat you good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't guarantee that you're gonna have the respect of the peers who you're trying to have the respect from.
Yeah, trying to impress. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, you know, what did Johnny say? Who built your car?
Oh yeah, the new hashtag.
Yeah, who built your car?
Who
You
built
know,
your car?
That's another thing. You know, it's like you can have all the money, get your car built, right? But you don't know anything about it. I can proudly say I know everything or every detail about my car.
Sure, from the color, transmission, engine,
Yeah.
the moonroof, hydraulics,
Yes.
how many batteries, how it's wired,
Yes.
the whole job.
Because we actually worked on it here. We know every step of it.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody can walk up to me and ask me a question about the car, and I can answer it proudly. I can say, yes, this is it, or this is what we did. Actually, I've had messages on Instagram about people asking me, hey, what motor mount did you use, or what transmission mount did you use, or what kit, what exhaust, color. That's like the number one question. Like, everybody wants to know the color.
Yeah.
And I'll let y'all know. It's no big secret. So back in the 60s, there's a color called butternut yellow.
Yeah.
And it was mainly used like on Camaros and Novas and stuff like that. Really all the 60s cars, all the GM 60s cars had this color, but it was like different shades.
Different shade.
And different names for it, you know?
Yeah.
But I found that I like this shade a little bit better than the ones they used on the actual Impala. I forget the Impala name, the one they used, that shade. But I like this shade a little bit better, and I went with it. It's a butternut yellow for anybody.
Well, butternut is a factory 64 color, but I don't know about factory 68 color. I'm not sure.
What was it called in 64? That's what it was called?
I'm not sure on the technicality behind that, but I know there was a yellow and black 64 made.
Yeah.
You know, but it could be a shade off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, like there's a lot of.
You would only know it if they were parked next to each other.
Yeah. So I mean, I know the colors. I know the interior. I know the, like I said, digital dash. Everything about that car, I know. I know what coil packs I use on the engine. I know what kind of engine I have. You know, and there's a lot of people out there, man, who write checks, take it to shops, and don't know anything about their car. No engine. They don't know the transmission. They don't even know the paint that's on their car. And to me, I think that's just wrong. You got to know something about your car.
Sure.
Right? I'm pretty sure I can ask you 100 questions about it, and you're gonna get them.
I know every square inch of my car.
Everything, you know.
Every
Right.
square inch.
down to the, oh, I know why we did this.
Sure.
On here.
Or why we didn't do that. Yeah,
exactly,
I know it all.
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very important, you know, for people out there. You know, even if you are paying the shop to do your work,
still you got to follow up. Yeah, you got to be involved.
Be involved.
Don't
man.
take their word, man, because
I mean, if you're paying a lot of money, I want to know like why. Okay, why are you charging me this, man? You're saying it's going to cost me this amount? Why?
But see, most places probably wouldn't even go into detail, man, because that takes too much time, man, and they got a long line of people ready to pay, so they ain't gonna fool with you. Okay. So okay.
I don't know, man. I think if people start pulling their projects out of shops, they're gonna feel kind of empty. Pockets a little bit empty. Yes, sir, Mr. Wood.
Yeah. No. What people need to understand is that the shop needs the customer.
Yes.
The customer has the money.
Yes.
So if the customer became more demanding, or not necessarily demanding, but more involved.
I think so.
I'm not saying demanding like, hey man. No, I'm saying more involved. Like, well, can you explain why we do this, or why do you want to do this, or
follow-ups?
Yeah, follow-ups. You know what I mean? And it may put an end to the high prices, man, because man, I mean, what's a paint job cost these days, man? I don't think you can get anybody to put a car on a rotisserie for less than 10 to start.
And that might just be not even take the doors off or none of that stuff, man.
Less than 10 to put a car on a rotisserie and take it off the frame. You could be hard pressed to find somebody to do that, man. 10 grand is a lot of money. At least to me it is.
To the average Joe,
10 G's is a lot of money, man.
The regular, 8 to 5.
Yeah, guy, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, man.
I mean, some people make that in 2 weeks. Cool. Some people make it in 4 months.
But then, like I said, it goes back to what we were talking about to begin with, is financing your car, man. I mean, some people can afford to go ahead and finance that. Let me get a loan for 10 G's, 15, 20, get the car done, or the majority of the car done, and then just kind of like budget into their monthly expenses. Like, okay, I know I got to make a $200 or $300 note back to this loan.
Also, man, you got to factor in time. If you can buy a done car that's to your liking and have a note, and you don't got to spend every weekend working on your car because it's already done.
Yeah.
Now you can spend your time doing other things, whether it be with the family or whether it be making money, right? Making more money than you would block sanding a car, making more money at your job than you would save by block sanding a car.
Okay.
Well, then that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
But I can see, man, where people finance their car, man, because hey, I don't want to spend the next 3 years working on this car.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it right now. I can do this for a certain amount of money a month. Hey, man, more power to you, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's every
there's options for everybody.
Every scenario is different based on your income, based on what you can afford, skill set. It's so many variables at play.
Yeah, I think so.
That you can't put a standard across the board and say, no, you shouldn't finance less than X amount of dollars because now you suck and you don't know what you're doing. No.
Whatever's gonna help you to reach that goal. I think.
Sure.
I think it's acceptable.
And people might trip on car loans, but people might say, "Oh no, my car is paid in full," but might have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah.
So that's worse.
Yeah, a lot worse.
That's worse. So there's a lot of variables in play.
I think so, man.
But hey, man, I'm not against that, man. Hey, man, if the shoe fits, wear it, man. If that's what you need to do to get where you want to be, man, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think so, man. I mean, I think it's a good option, man.
It is an option. It's an option, man, and but what I would advise against is going the whole term. If you borrow money for 5 years, man, make a plan to pay it off in like at least 4.
Well, yeah.
Anything sooner is great.
Yeah.
But don't go the whole term, man, because now they done got you for whatever they got you.
It goes back to budgeting, man. I'm telling you, man. If you look at it as a monthly expense, and you got to make this amount to make it happen, right? Okay, then
it's part of the budget.
Yeah, it's in there. It's
already in there. Sure.
Now, I mean, people can take the long route and say, okay, I got my project, and I'm gonna spend $200 a month. Like every month, I'm gonna grab $200 out the bank, and I'm gonna go buy that part, right? whether I need a weather strip,
Yeah.
or you know, maybe I can buy I don't know, set of knockoffs in 2 months, and then maybe the wheels or piece together something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. That's a long road.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's the only road people have.
Absolutely.
Man. So I
Absolutely.
mean, you know, sometimes you got to do that. I wouldn't take that road. I think I'm a little impatient sometimes, and I need it done now. You know.
The thing is, if you're going to build a $40,000 car, man, you need to be able to
Well, I mean, you don't have
budget
to,
more than 2 bills a month.
but you don't have to build a $40,000 car.
I mean, okay, if you want to budget 2 bills a month,
let's say
we're
you
talking
want
about
to build
building a $10,000 car.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, let's say you want to build a G body.
Sure.
Or you know.
I like G-bodies.
Yeah. And then that's another debate, because me and him were just talking about the G body, not the G body, the El Camino. The El Camino is on 2 different platforms. From 78 to like 81, it's an A body. From 81 to I think 87, it's a G body.
88 probably.
So,
or I think they might have stopped at 87.
you know, so I mean, anyway, that's another topic. But I'm saying, I mean, like if G bodies are your thing, or an El Camino or whatever, you know, something that's not an Impala or lesser expensive car.
Yeah.
Hey, Fredo, can you move your truck so he can get out?
Here he did.
Oh, you did?
So I mean,
Okay, bye.
yeah. so I mean, you know.
Be the oath tonight.
So I mean, you know, it's I mean, that's another option right there, man. To go to, you know, you don't have to get an expensive car to lowride. You can get.
Man, you know, that goes back to that post that I made on Instagram. Is like, what's more enjoyable, man? A $100,000 car or a $7,500 car, man? And a lot of people said the $7,500 car, and I could agree with that, man, because hey, $7,500 car, you know, the little $400, $500, $600 paint job. You driving down the street, you get a rock chip. It's not the end of the world.
It's whatever, yeah.
You got a $100,000 car and you get a rock chip, man. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, some people say, "Oh, it's part of the game." Yeah, but no, it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It sucks. You can't say it don't suck. So, all I'm saying is get in where you fit in, man. If it feels good, go ahead and do that. If your money allows it, why not, man? Who cares what other people think?
Exactly. But I do suggest and I encourage people to get onto this do yourself movement. Yeah.
Nice. Do yourself movement, man. That's a new thing we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start focusing on the videos I do, man, on ways to save money and do it yourself, man. Which is what I've been doing the whole time, but I'm gonna start emphasizing on that.
Yeah, because I think, you know, people forget about that, man. It's like doing it yourself saves you some money,
Some serious money, time, headache,
yeah,
heartache,
yeah,
all that.
dealing with people that you don't want to deal with,
All that.
you know.
And then
it only takes a little bit. I mean, it's trial and error sometimes, but with guidance and you know, like not only you, but I mean, like there's thousands of videos on YouTube that help people how to learn something, you know.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I watch, man, that are, you know, doing it all themselves, man.
Yeah.
And, man, shout out to them. But that's what it's about, man. And then at the end of the day, you can say, hey, man, you can look back and say, hey, man, yeah, I did that, or we did that.
Yeah.
Man, that's something to be proud of. And
Actually,
then when somebody says, man, y'all did that, well, that's just a bonus.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the main things that sticks with me is we did that here. That every inch of that car, nobody can say that they touched. We touched every bit of that car. So,
Sure, man.
You know.
Man, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we might do a little bit of editing here and there, but it might. Yeah.
So we'll bring you guys back next time, man, for the next shop talk. When we pick a topic to talk about, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
All right.